Before you watch the new Miss Marvel show, we have a couple questions where we want to answer about the property itself. What's up, everybody? This is the Jersey Comic Crew. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Chris, Miss Marvel's coming out. Not a lot of information is known. We know Kamala Khan is a Muslim Pakistani American high school teenager living in New Jersey. Is it a mouthful? Yes, but it's very important to this character's identity. Relates to a lot of people. We know she's a huge fangirl of Captain Marvel, right? She made her suit inspired of her and everything else. In the comics, she's an Inhuman. She goes through a different process to get her mutation, if you will. In the show, it's a little different. Her powers are not Inhuman based. Looks like they're cosmic and a whole different thing from the comics. So they're taking a different road. So Chris, the first thing I want to talk about is whether or not she's an Inhuman. Inhumans, they go through the Terrigen Mist to get their abilities. The Inhumans aren't a thing in Marvel, but we're still getting the first MCU appearance of an Inhuman character.
Yeah, we just saw Black Bolt in Doctor Strange. I don't think she's necessarily going to go through the Terrigen Mists or terraformation or terragenesis, or whatever those Inhuman words are.
Okay.
Like, she's not going to be in one of those cocoons where she has to break out, kind of like what we saw with Skye in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But I think it's going to be, like you said, a little more cosmic. I think her powers are going to be based in these kind of family heirlooms, these bracelets, where it's a different power set. It's imbued with some type of cosmic power that we're seeing a lot more of in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and not so much the Inhumans, at least not yet. I don't necessarily think she's going to be that yet.
So I like that you said not yet, because my take is that she is going to be an Inhuman. Not necessarily now. I think down the line, once they figured out the Inhuman angle, what they were going to do with that world, she will be an Inhuman. And I think that's also why her powers are from this, it looks like a cosmic bracelet. And it's maybe that's like her manifestation of the powers that she wants or thinks that they're going to work. And I think eventually she's going to be an Inhuman. And she's going to get her comic accurate powers that are going to be very similar to just the cosmic ones that she had. I think this whole storyline is not going to be like her becoming a superhero because of the stuff in herself. I think it's going to be more like Green Lantern, Iron Man. Like, this object is going to make her into a superhero. She's going to have this responsibility and want to do all this kind of stuff. And then down the line in the Kamala Khan story arc, if you will, we're going to hit the point where the Inhumans are going to enter into the MCU via whatever means. And then she's going to become an Inhuman. And she's going to get those powers that, like, she envisioned with those cosmic magic, like the growing of big limbs, to be able to, like, grow her legs to walk around, kind of like this Mr. Fantastic kind of style. I think that's the trajectory that they're going to go in. But the way they started out is very smart for Marvel, because if they decide not to, and people just love this cosmic style Captain Marvel that they want to do with the growing of limbs and walking and all those other abilities, they could just leave it like that and continue to grow that character that way. And maybe like her Terrigen transformation, if Inhuman is a thing, is just that ability without the necessity of the bracelets. Maybe the bracelet brings out the Inhuman properties or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they could be kind of like Shang-Chi's rings are, right? Kind of an extension of his force, of his power. And, you know, Shang-Chi really doesn't have superpowers, right? He's just really good at fighting, but those rings kind of elevate him to another level. That seems to be kind of similar to what Kamala's going to go through, right? Where she's going to go to this next level where she can embiggen her limbs more Green Lantern style than Inhuman style. I do think there's a chance, Rob, that the cosmic power is kind of her power set. I know the MCU is for uber fans like us and anyone watching, but it's also for people who are just layman fans, and that will kind of confuse them with what Mr. Fantastic's going to be going forward. So I think they do want to make a differentiation there because of the impending Fantastic Four movie coming out, and they're probably going to stick to this cosmic version, which is very different from her comic version, and a lot of fans are kind of upset about already.
So I've heard the rhetoric of people are going to get confused with her powers with the impending Mr. Fantastic. I don't think that's something that we need to worry about at all. I think the studio audience, if you will, or the audiences have the ability to differentiate. Okay, you have similar powers compared to this one. I mean, we're going to get multiple Spider-Man. We had that movie fantastically. And just because one Spider-Man has the same powers as another one doesn't detract from another character. Yeah. Also, Black Widow and, you know, Yelena. We have all these two different Captain Americas now, two Iron Mans, War Machine, and stuff like that. I don't think it's the similar power set that's going to be the issue. I think maybe it's going to be, okay, Mr. Fantastic could do cooler things with his stretchy limbs than Kamala could do in the comics, and he's super genius. How do we differentiate this character? I think that might be more of the focus. How did we differentiate this character less than are we confusing the audience? Because I think the audience by now, if they're able to keep up with all the craziness that Marvel's doing with timelines and multiple realities and multiverses, they're going to be fine with two people having similar powers.
I mean, I think there is definitely something to what you're saying. Absolutely, right? Don't treat your audience stupidly because they'll be able to tell. You can't cheat the audience. They're going to know. They're invested as much as we are making videos about it. It's not a good way to market anything going forward. I think Kamala's going to have a very unique perspective in this entire universe. She's not only a fangirl, she's kind of like a female Spider-Man version of the MCU in a smaller way, where, Captain Marvel's going to be kind of her Iron Man. And who knows where Monica Rambeau might piece into that as well. But I think there's a big chance for her to kind of have this cosmic energy now. Like Rob said, hopefully the Inhumans come back in a big bad way. We just saw Black Bolt, who was fantastic for the 5 seconds we saw him.
Yeah.
And maybe we get some more of that in this world. And Miss Marvel is kind of the, middle ground of it. Brokerage between the Inhumans and the Avengers. Possibly a catalyst for the Young Avengers. Like, she's a big key part in a book Rob loves called The Champions.
Yes.
Which is a massive book for basically Young Avengers. She's kind of key in all these places. We're seeing her pop up in, the not biggest, but massively expensive Avengers game. She was a main character in that.
She was great in that book. She was great in that game.
Yeah. And she is also the catalyst of her own book that has been ongoing for a while now. She's a fairly new character, but is a very popular character. So I'm very interested to see where this trajectory is. In this show especially, I'm interested to kind of see her get going, see the quirky, awkward teenager phase, which everyone loves at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But see it from a different point of view, right? We've seen the Peter Parker version a billion times. I'd like to see this very unique style and point of view also from me and Rob's back door, right? In Jersey. Kind of see some familiar places. I think it's going to be fun.
I hope they did a lot of filming in Jersey City, because we went to college there, and I want to see like the malls. I want to see the streets. I want to see the hobos walking around. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That place where we got drunk one time.
Oh my god! But guys, that is our thoughts on Miss Marvel. We want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen in the show? Do you think her powers are here to stay, or they're going to change?
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot. If you are new, subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss our Miss Marvel breakdowns, our Marvel MCU breakdowns, anything on Disney Plus. You know where it is. It is right here for you at all times. And as always, I'm Chris Heller. That's Rob Moran. We're the Jersey Comic Crew, and we will see you next time.